Hi, I'm Scott from Gun Day YBM, and today we're going to be looking at using the words so and such. Okay? Now when we use so and such, it's almost the same as saying very. Okay? For example, I am so hungry. I can say this meaning I am very hungry. I can also say I'm such a hungry person. It's the same as saying I'm a very hungry person. But if you notice, the grammar is different for each. For so, we have to use so plus an adjective only. As you can see, this sentence ends with the adjective hungry. I am so hungry. Such can be used with an adjective and its noun. Okay. For example, I'm such a hungry person. Okay. Such plus the adjective and the noun. Here's another example. Let's say you went to the movie theater with your friend and you watched some new scary movie. When the movie was over, you would say, oh, that movie was so scary. Okay? So plus the adjective that describes the subject. Then we have that was such a scary movie. Again, such plus the adjective and the noun you are describing. And let's look at another example. Let's say you've been reading a book for a long time because it has so many pages. Okay? Here we have, you can say, this book is so long. Okay? We're talking about a book here, and you're going to describe it by saying it is so long. So plus adjective. Very, very long. Or I can say, this is such a long book. This is a very long book. Such, adjective, and its noun. Now you may have just heard me say this book has so many pages. I just told you that we use so plus an adjective and not the noun at the end. But this time I was talking about the quantity of pages, okay? Very many pages, okay, for example. And yes, I can use so here. I can say this book has so many pages. Pages is a countable noun, so we must use many. Now what about an uncountable noun? No problem. It will take me so much time to read because this book is so long. It takes me so much plus an uncountable noun. Okay? Now what if it's not a big book? What if it doesn't have so many pages? What if it's a short book? Okay? In the same way, I can use the words few and little. Now if you remember from a previous lesson, we use few with countable nouns. For example, I can say, this book has so few pages. Not many. Very few. And in the same way, I can say, it will take me so little time to read. Because time is uncountable, and we always use little with uncountable nouns. Here's another example. Let's say you're on a family road trip, vacation, and you're stuck in traffic. It's taking you a very long time to get to your destination because you are moving so slowly. You can say, wow, there are so many cars on the road today. Cars is a countable noun, therefore we say so many. And in the same way, we can say, there is so much traffic on the road today. Traffic is an uncountable noun, therefore we say so much. And once again, let's say there isn't much traffic, okay? We can use few and little. Once again, there are so few cars on the road today. There is so little traffic on the road today. Now, as I said before, using so and such is the same as using very, okay? For example, I am so hungry, or I am very hungry. It was such a good movie, or it was a very good movie. But there's another reason why we want to use so and such. When we use so and such, we often complete this sentence by stating some claim, result, or feeling based on what we say here. And there are two ways we can do it. One, we can state something that is simply realistic and logical. For example, it was such a good movie that I watched it twice. It was such a good movie, I wrote about it in my blog. Okay? Now we can also make an exaggerated statement. For example, what if I said, I am so hungry, I could eat a horse. Excuse me? What did he say? A horse? Now, of course, nobody can eat a whole horse. Nobody would. This is just an exaggerated claim to say how hungry I actually feel. Okay? And this, believe it or not, is a common expression. I am so hungry, I could eat a horse. You may hear other people say, I am so hungry, I could eat a cow. Let's try these two examples. The first one says, I am so tired. Now, think of a way or a sentence you could use to express how very tired you really are. For example, I could say, I am so tired, I could sleep for a week. Now, of course, I can't and won't sleep for a week. I have to come here and go to work during the week. But this is okay. This is understandable. This says how tired you actually feel. I can say something even bigger. I am so tired I can sleep for a month. I'm so tired I can sleep for 10 years. Whatever your imagination tells you, however way you want to express how tired you are, you can make a statement that says so. Here's another one. It was such a delicious meal. Now, let's use such with realistic expressions, realistic statements. For example, it was such a delicious meal, I gave the waiter a large tip. Now, you know, in my culture, in Canada and in the USA, we have to tip our waiters and waitresses. So I say, it was such a delicious meal, I gave the waiter a large tip. It was such a delicious meal, I gave them a great review on their website. It was such a delicious meal that I promised to go back there again soon. Now let's try a quick exercise. Here we have, I am so thirsty. The music is so loud. These noodles are so spicy. I want you to take some time and try to express how thirsty you could feel, how loud that music could be, and express how spicy those noodles actually feel, okay? And don't be afraid to exaggerate. Don't be afraid to use your imagination. Just let it run wild. I want you to take some time, pause the video, and come up with some answers. Okay, so what did you come up with? I can think of a few answers for each of these. For example, I am so thirsty, I could drink the river. Crazy, right? But that's okay. I'm expressing how thirsty I actually feel. The music is so loud. Now we have a common expression when we want to express how loud something can be. The music is so loud, I can't hear myself think. Common expression. Now, of course, we don't need to hear ourselves think, but it just shows that the music is so loud that it's hard to concentrate on something else. And finally, these noodles are so spicy. How would you express how hot and spicy something is? For example, these noodles are so spicy, my mouth is on fire. These noodles are so spicy, I'm breathing fire like a dragon. Again, use your imagination. Don't be afraid to say something, even if it sounds crazy. Now let's do that again with these ones. She is so strong, he is so tall, Iceland is so far away from here. Again, take your time, exaggerate a little bit to express these adjectives. Okay, so what did you come up with? I can think of one for this one. She is so strong, she could lift a house. She could carry a horse on her back. She can lift up a piano with one arm. Again, very exaggerated, but that's okay when we use so. He is so tall, he could touch the sky. Why not? Iceland is so far, it will take forever to get there. Iceland is so far, it will take forever to get there. Not true, but that's okay. We're expressing how far it actually seems to us. Now let's do the same thing, but this time with sentences using such. Now with so, as we did, we made exaggerated sentences to express our adjectives. This time we're going to go back and make more realistic or logical sentences to explain these situations. Okay? Pause the video, take a few minutes, and come up with some reasonable, realistic, or logical explanations. Okay, so yesterday was such a cold day that I stayed inside. It's logical, it's realistic, okay? This is a very realistic way to express this situation. What I did, well, it was such a cold day, I stayed inside. I didn't go outside because it was too cold. Another one, she was such a nice girl. Now think of this situation. The other day you met a really nice girl, or just recently today you met a really nice girl. And what do you want to do or say as a result? She was such a nice girl. I hope to see her again. It's realistic, it's reasonable, it's logical. The next one, he is such a fast driver. Now what's a logical or realistic thing we can say to express how fast this driver is? Well, let's see. He is such a fast driver, he will probably get a speeding ticket from the police. Okay, that's logical, unless it's already happened. He is such a fast driver, he probably has got many speeding tickets. So there's a somewhat simple way to explain the use of so and such when it means very. But I'd like to show you another use for the expression so far. Now, as I said before, so far could mean something is very far away, talking about distance or even time. But this time we have another use. So far can also mean until now. For example, let's say I started a new job, and 2 weeks after I started, my friend asks me, "Hey, how is your new job?" And I can answer, "It's good so far." That means from the time I started the job 2 weeks ago until now, the job is good. It looks like this. I started the job 2 weeks ago, here in the past. And this is now. This is a period of 2 weeks. So from here, start time, until now, it's good. It's good so far. But using this also implies that, well, the future is unknown. I don't know if it will be good in the near future. Next week I might run into some problems, I don't know. But up until now, it's good. Here's another example. Let's say I started reading a new book. I started it last week, okay? And maybe I'm a third into the book. And my friend asks me, "Hey, how is that book you're reading?" And I can say, "Well, it's boring so far. From the time I started up until the point in the book I'm at now, it's boring. It could get better in the future, later on as I read, I don't know." Or I can say, "Hey, it's exciting so far. From the time I started until now, it's an exciting book." Now there's a very common and simple expression that we can say if the answer to the question is positive or simply good. How is that book you're reading? It's good so far. How is that meal you're eating? It's good so far, okay? But we can simply say, so far so good. Scott, how's your new job? So far so good. Scott, how you feeling? So far so good. Very simple, very common, expressing any positive feeling about something that you have that has happened up until now. For more information and practice, join Gun Day YBM's native English classes.